Hey everybody, and welcome to a Moot episode of Indie Film Cafe. I'm your old pal, the Moo Cow, aka Paul Presenza, and I am joined by
Jonathan A. Moody, your co-host.
How's it going? And together we are joined by
Joe Turek.
Joe Turek.
Jumpin' Joe Turek.
Jumpin' Joe.
How's it going?
I'm about to find out. I'll let you know.
He'll let you know if he's going to jump.
Yeah, there might be some jumping involved.
There might be a little jumping
Or I
involved.
might have to hide under the couch or something.
Because I'm afraid it's time. It's finally time for us to do a Bill Hellfire movie.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I think then we do something about him.
We did a documentary on our Docs That Rock.
Oh, that's right.
Remember the Wave movie?
Yeah.
Normally, Mr. Hellfire does all kinds of wackadoodle, crazy, soft porn, fetish kinds of stuff. Usually the kind of movies that are more fit for sexploitation sleazecast, if I manage to get that show off the ground again. However, his very, very first film is something that's something we can cover here on Indie Film Cafe, and so we're going to. And it is called A Gogo, Caress of the Vampire Part 2.
Part 2?
Part 2.
Do we need to watch Part 1?
Nope.
Is there a part 1?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's like sometimes
There's a story, and we'll get into that. And this is from 1996. This is the very first Bill Hellfire movie before Misty Monday, before Tina Krause, before all that.
So this was his first movie, and yet this is a sequel to somebody else's first movie or other movie.
Yep.
But we'll be able to coherently follow whatever.
Trust me,
necessary.
you won't. It won't matter. It doesn't make any difference about the first film at all.
Right.
In fact, it was packaged together, so if you bought the one, you got the two.
Okay.
So anyway, we will be back to talk about this film after some music. Big.
All right, you're good to go.
Are we on? All right. So, we are back. I'm dying to know. What did you guys think of A Gogo, Caress of the Vampire Part 2?
It was... At least it was the title. It was true to the title. I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know what Part 1 was, but it was... There was caressing. There was vampires. There was ghouls, and there was a go-go, sort of, in the house. So I mean, it kind of had the title, so it wasn't like some other stuff we've seen before that had no relation to the title.
Geek, maggot, bingo.
Yeah, no geeks, no maggots, no bingo.
This definitely felt like Nick Zed and Ed Wood together in this film.
I did like that he called the character Dr. Acula.
There you go. I was wondering if you were going to be jealous of that.
Wow. Because this film's so bad that I don't think many people will see this.
You don't think this comes too close to our Dr. Acula?
Not at all. Our Dr. Acula is not a foot fetish guy.
But man, don't you want to write that in
now? No. Especially when I want to, step on Hellfire's toes, you know.
We should go definitely have Jason watch this and say, this is how we want your Dr. Acula from now on.
He'll be like, nice knowing you.
He'll be like, I'm done.
He'll be like, I'll pass on this project.
Yeah, I'm done playing Dr. Acula. I've retired.
So I don't think I've ever seen a Nick Zed film. So
No,
you have.
Yeah, you
I
have.
have? Okay.
Yeah.
That's Geek Maggot.
That's
Bingo.
Bingo, right.
Okay.
No, but this is a William Hellfire.
This is
Okay.
William
Well,
Hellfire.
no. When you said Nick Zed, me said Wood, I was trying to put those two together, and I was like, I can see the Ed Wood side of it, maybe.
Well, I mean, Dr. Acula is a
yeah.
big thing of that, and then, which is so okay. So, Ed Wood the movie came out in, was it 94?
Right.
So he might have gotten the whole Dr. Acula thing from that movie
Because it was supposed to have been a movie.
But there was a person, I think it was Kenny Thompson or Kenny Duncan or somebody like that, who played Dr. Acula in Night of the Ghouls. So there was, there was somebody who did that. Because other than that, Ed Wood, most of the time Ed Wood didn't use Dr. Acula.
He was going to do his own movie.
He's going to do a TV show. There's a
TV
show
yeah.
that called Dr. Acula. He tried to get off the ground, but unfortunately, people just weren't interested in it.
Well, can't imagine why.
So this was made right after the mid '90s when all the video stuff was becoming popularized and stuff like that.
Definitely shot on video kind of feel to it.
Yeah, the coloring is really. I'm not sure how colorful it really was in its original esteemed recordings, but it was looking pretty bad.
It must be said this was the Tubi version, and the Tubi version is edited. But I'm here to tell you, you're not really missing a whole lot other than some poorly shot, not very particularly interesting sex bits.
So it was not to be.
No, and that's the thing. The very first film is the original Caress of the Vampire, which came out also in 1996. That was a film. Oh God, who was it was.
I looked him up.
William Terranova, I think it is. Oh, Frank Terranova. He'd made it, and for whatever reason, Bill Hellfire fell in love with it and said, "I'm going to make my version as a sequel," even though they're not really related.
Well, my question is, did he have the rights? Or, I mean, is there any rights?
I don't think it mattered.
I guess not, because, I mean, they put it out as a double feature.
Yeah,
so
they're both
okay
underground films, and they were friends, so I don't think it
were
really...
they?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Oh, so if there was a relationship, friends or whatever, yeah.
But this is Bill Hellfire's first film, just so you guys understand. It doesn't say, but he is the writer, director, and producer of this and many other films. He did such movies as Bikini Girls on Dinosaur Planet, which is the first movie I saw of his. I Was a Teenage Strangler, The Duct Tape Killers, Cannibal Doctor, Lust in the Mummy's Tomb, An Erotic Werewolf in London. Basically, your fetishy sort of soft porn kinds of movies. That was his shtick.
And how many of those have you seen? Probably a handful of them.
Most of them. Well, that's why Tina Kraus was in them, and
cool.
And Misty Monday was in them, and you saw the Jesus Lizard. David Yao from the Jesus Lizard had a relationship with him, so he would pop in. So
Look at the original title.
Yeah.
Teenage Girl A Gogo.
There you go.
That's a long ass title. Oh Lord.
So was the first film similar in like look, or was it more like was it shot on film or something?
No.
Did it have any sort of production value?
It's pretty similar. Maybe it's a little bit better. It's a lot more just soft porn kinds of stuff, lesbian vampire kind of stuff, which, to be fair, is something that people, inspires people. It's just it wobbled off in this weird direction that, the whole foot fetish thing and this other stuff that I don't know why we went in those directions.
So that wasn't in the original?
Not that I remember. No, if there was, it was very minor.
Because there'd have to be, because it looked like that was all for Dr. Acula, so that was a character.
That was part of his character, yeah. So we have Bill Hellfire playing Billy the Vampire, who's this international screen star, apparently.
Well, what I took from that, and this could be over, whatever, explaining things or whatever. But what I took from that was that he was basically the inspiration to Dracula, and so when everybody played him in the movies, but the problem I took from it was that, and maybe I'm reading into it too much, but that he never got the acclaim that everybody else got that played him and things.
Okay,
that's why later he got really upset because he was planning to use this group as to get himself famous and stuff, and all of a sudden Ruby got famous and he got fucking pissed. And he was like, "Fuck you, Ruby!" You can't.
Yeah,
be famous.
that's a good read. I thought that he was more interested, wanted to be Bela Lugosi. That's kind of where I thought.
Because he even said, "I don't drink wine."
Yeah, he had a lot of false, fake, wannabe Bela Lugosi kind of things
that's
about
what
him.
I think he because he supposedly he's a vampire that's lived a long time, and he was the
so abundantly clear.
Yeah, even though he acts like today, and everything. Plus, I mean, if you die as a vampire, you die at the age that you died as a vampire at. So if you died as a teenager, wouldn't that suck?
But
if you became a vampire.
The thing
as
is,
a teenager.
The thing is,
you just had to stay as a teenager.
Remember
you
though,
have to go through all the hormones
the one with I forget the name of it, but the Anne Rice one that they ended up making.
Interview with the Vampire?
Right, where the little girl is the vampire.
Oh, yeah.
She's physically that, but mentally, she's not. And that's
Isn't that Kirsten Dunst?
Yeah. She's not, and that's the whole point. That's the thing, is that she might be cursed with the body of a kid, but she's lived 100 and some years old, so she's a full, functioning adult as a vampire. But that's the thing. So he's not really playing him as somebody who's mature, is kind of the point I'm going. He's
a teenager. I don't think you're... Even if you've lived in whatever how many years, you're still a teenager. You're still going to be immature, I think.
I don't think that's true. I think if you live 100 years, you're no longer a teenager. Your body might be, but
Your
I
face
don't
might
think
be.
so. Yeah, well.
That's why when I watched Twilight, I was like, this is disgusting. When he was going after that 16-year-old girl.
Technically, yeah. If he's or whatever, he's a...
People forget there was a whole icky side of that.
Yeah, and that's why it's like, between that and the laughing at that movie, but that's a different story.
Yeah, well, the laughing is just because it's bad.
I'm just laughing at the nonsense.
You laughed a lot in this.
I did, because it's just, this movie is just, check the brain at the door and just let it go. It is what it is. And I would say it's harmless, but it fringed on some very creep elements that could be troubling.
There were no dogs going into ovens.
Nope.
So you're safe from that.
No animals at all.
There was none of the women had he made all the women out to be pretty low.
Oh yeah. Well, some of the women. Let's discuss that. So my favorite was Ruby the Ghoul. That's Ruby Honeycat, who also appeared in several of his movies, including Nude Strangler and Guilty Pleasures. She was the one who I'm going to dance. She was actually kind of adorable, I thought.
Was she the one that sang, or is she the...
She's
the singer who became the star, unfortunately.
She became the star, and then... but wasn't she... So was she the one who, she was blonde, right? So she was the one... no, blonde?
That was the other one. That was Penelope.
Which one was the one that, took her shoes off for that other girl and let her... touch her feet.
Ruby was taking the girl's shoe off.
Okay.
Yeah, and she was the one who became the singer and she sang later on. So yeah, that was Ruby Honeycat, who was pretty darn cute in my opinion. And then we had Mishi, who was playing the character of Mishi. She was one of the girls she had the long hair. She was the one that was stripping, and then there was a sudden jump cut. Well, that was a Tubi cut because there's another 10 seconds of her actually taking her top off, which you don't see. But it doesn't really matter because it's just her 10 seconds and it doesn't add anything. So the stuff that's missing really doesn't add anything to the story.
Because you're saying if there's 10 seconds each of these things, that's a lot of 10 seconds of stuff got out. Well, because it was an hour and 1 minute, and it was on IMDb. It's it's an hour and 15 minutes.
Right. Yeah. So that's basically what you're missing. You're not missing anything that's necessary to the quote unquote plot. Is what I'm saying.
Did we miss anything? Even what we saw, did we miss anything?
Not really. You pretty much got what you got.
Yeah.
And trust me, do you really want another 15 minutes of that?
I don't know. I would have hoped that something explains something.
No. Rod, who was
what's up with all their names,
fake hair?
Actors' names and actresses, all the crew. They didn't put their last names on.
Would you?
They Alan Smith did their own project by just using their first name.
Well, that was played by Josh Miller. He was in Nude Strangler, and also I Was a Teenage Strangler. He did a bunch of these fetishy strangle movies. That's the other thing. And so there's a little bit of strangling in this film, too. I don't know. I mean, talk to Tina about that. She was in one of those or a couple of those strangle things. Apparently, there's a big underground thing for these fetish strangle videos.
Yeah, that's the creep element that starts venturing into that. I don't know if these people specifically are part of it, but there's an audience that has that.
Moody did touch on the fact that this has been remade as Caress of the Vampire 2.5, The Return of Billy the Vampire.
So there's a sequel.
Yeah, although I think it's mostly the same thing. I haven't had a chance to get my hands on it yet. I'm not sure
So
you can
Return
get
of
it.
Billy. So William Hellfire comes back
Yeah, he's playing the same
as
character.
you can't do that.
It's
He's a
his
vampire. He can't grow.
His property. He can do
He
it.
can't grow up. He's a vampire.
It's his rules.
That's right.
Must follow
His
the
movie,
rules.
his rule.
But you must follow the rules of being a vampire.
Nope.
Otherwise, you're just
Well, according to them, they could tweak the rules to fit whatever their
Carson would
narrative is.
hate that.
He's a vampire. He's a vampire that became a zombie. I mean, what sense does that make?
That's true. He becomes a vampire and then he becomes a zombie. And then the zombies aren't zombies, really. They're just
Not really.
walking around talking like vampires. Yeah, but first they do that, but then they come over to hang out like, "Arr." Yeah.
But they would come up and then they would back up 10 seconds and show it again and again.
Oh, there was a lot
and
of
again.
breening.
And that you guys called it breening.
Yeah, that was great.
I understand at times there's reasons to do that in a film or to be artistic with it. This here, it was done. I don't know if it's filler or if it was just
Well,
done to be done.
when we normally say breeding, it usually means if somebody says, like that one guy that kept repeating his line over and over, but he would say, if he said it twice in a row, he was breeding. So he would be like, I'll meet you at your house at 8. I'll meet you at your house at 8. Right? When you do it twice, that's breeding, because Neil Breen
more.
would do that all the time. He'd be like, why aren't you listening to me? Why aren't you listening to me?
Famously, he was in that part where he was like, I can't believe you killed yourself. I can't believe you killed
That was
yourself.
a-
I can't believe you killed yourself.
Well, I think I've seen that type of element in filmmaking in a different sense, but it's done for a reason, and that's in the martial arts film.
Yeah, that and
Because they wanted to show the kicks
it was
and
a
the action.
technique in the
They wanted
70s.
to show those actions from other angles and stuff like that.
There was a technique
Yeah.
in the 70s back in the they would just do it boop, 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 boop 3
So
times
there was a
in row.
reason.
But there was also
It's
a
a
lot of it was
stylistic-
yes,
editing,
exactly.
and it looked cool.
Yeah.
When this does not look cool.
And they're not trying to do a 70s retro thing with this. That's the thing. I think this was just
Badly done.
poor choice. I don't know. It's his first movie. Why not? You
But
know,
I don't like.
It's led to a career, though.
it
apparently.
sure has. It sure
I mean,
has.
He made a movie.
He's made like 70 of them, something like that.
I only saw like I don't know how many on IMDb, but
Because most of them you can't really get at regular stores. They're more the fetishy kinds of things.
that just makes me weird. I mean, we talked.
There's a market for that.
That was about that on that documentary, that Wave documentary, and there was a lot about that.
Mm-hmm.
There's
And
a market
a lot of them are custom made. You get people who they have money and they're like, "Can you shoot me a 40-minute movie where hot chicks get strangled?" Sure.
Yeah, that's
You could do that.
That's starting to enter territory where you get like, I don't want to say legal or there's moral lines and stuff like that that the people that might be running
As long as the
financing these
people
things-
who are involved are happy with it, they're fine. You know what I mean? There are underground
I mean these
groups of movies out there.
Yeah, but they can't do anything because like the cops can't do anything
No.
unless the people like press charges against them.
Yeah, it's
or
not like a
something.
snuff film. Nobody's getting hurt.
Yeah, nobody. My thinking is, it's not from the makers of this. It's not if there's people funding this and they're getting whatever internal jollies off of it. What is the next step that they get when this doesn't do that for them? Is that when they go to this? So that has nothing to do with the
I
filmmakers
don't
here, and
know.
it's just that just seems like it's bordering on going into a
Well,
very dark side.
honestly, and I don't kink shame anyone.
Yeah,
What
I don't either.
What I say is, as long as it's healthy in the terms of like that's what gets you off, and you are not going to the next step, which is
Yeah.
murdering somebody, strangling somebody, just to get it off.
That's what I'm
That's
wondering.
okay.
When's it enough?
And as long
And
as
that's-
everybody involved is giving consent. Now, there are times where I have heard where people have made films, but at the same time, they're making another movie secretly where they're like watching people's feet and they're actually making this shit with
Oh, yeah,
footage.
getting
And,
consent.
right.
That's
They're not
right.
getting consent. They're not getting, money from it. It's this whole other thing that they don't even know is going on.
Yeah, my thing has nothing to do with the filmmakers or the people involved in this. It's the audience. If there's an underground financing of stuff that's not getting above the line to being made,
It's
like,
weird. It's
where are
this
those people
weird
at? Yeah.
nether region in between, say, traditional porn movies and horror movies that some people, they want things. Believe me, there's a whole industry of movies that we haven't touched on Indie Film Cafe that I have.
Well,
some of them get pretty extreme.
There's one, so I've talked to you about this, and I don't think Joe knows about it, but there's a guy out there who's actually being sued by lots of people right now because what he did was he would actually get girls drunk, and they couldn't consent,
Yeah, that's not
and then they would sign whatever because they weren't paying,
But they had the
whatever.
right frame of mind.
And and then he would do really nasty things. One of them, actually, I think two of them, but like two women died in a drug deal gone bad because of all of this stuff and everything. And I can't remember the guy's name. You know him.
I know who you talk about. I forget his name.
He's one of those extreme filmmakers. Paul's talked about Lucifer Valentine.
Yeah.
And
he does a bunch of puke videos.
Yeah, I mean, they're real puke videos.
Yeah.
They're not like fake. This fake shit. They're like, if you watch it, it's real stuff.
And honestly, Bill Hellfire makes pretty mild stuff. It's mostly boobs and stuff. And little minor fetish things. There is some shit out there that's far more violent. Far more blood-oriented, far more like necrophilia. Like they want to see women getting killed, and just so they can screw the bodies. It's just there's some weird shit out there. This is nothing.
Yeah,
like
outside
that.
the fetish stuff that was going on, a lot of this that I was watching, I was like, oh, this is just harmless.
Yeah, it is.
But I know
it's
that
goofy and dumb.
Well, I just
but I say harmless, but it's also just poor.
So I love that this girl went to this podiatrist. Dr. Acula. And she went to him, and he, at first, did not want to look at the feet. And it was restraint.
Nice,
right. He was trying.
He was trying, and then she was like,
she kept telling take off my shirt.
You need to take off my shirt.
Would you please look at my feet?
And then when he does, she doesn't want him to. She's like, get away from me.
Then he strangles her, and he's like, that escalated quickly.
Yeah. I actually literally did, because it went from one shot of him with the feet, and then to next him strangling her somewhere else. And
then, of course, he saves the sock, and he puts it in his pocket for later.
As you do, I guess.
I mean, I didn't think he'd be into the socks.
But the doctor's office was really looked real, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. It looked like somebody's real basement.
It had the paneling and all that. They spared no cost.
That's the Nick Zeb end of it, where everything looked really poor.
They spared no cost.
Right, except at least they had a real phone.
They did. They did. It wasn't cardboard.
Cardboard phone like in.
Nobody was off camera going, ring!
Yeah, nobody did that. We actually heard the beep, beep, beep.
That cardboard phone that we watched in that one film, that was nuts.
That was one of my favorite moments in cinema ever.
So, Joe, you actually noticed, like, when he beep, 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 you were like, I know that sound.
I was like, that's real. I remember that from the 90s.
But, again, first film, so there's clearly a lot of mistakes. Obviously, the acting is very bad. You can see shots where some of the lighting, where they're using aluminum foil as reflectors. You can see
the camera in
the window. Yeah, it's
window.
just,
You said you saw the reflectors, and they seemed to light it from in front, because it was really off-centered with the lighting.
And sometimes the lighting was moving and casting shadows. And
I thought that was supposed to be like coming from the outside, like a window or something.
No, that's
like
a light that's moving around that somebody's not supposed to be moving.
And there was one scene, the camera shook so bad.
I know.
I was starting to get a little bit of a headache. I was like, please end scene.
First film.
I said that in every scene.
I'm not saying his movies are technically fantastic, but they're a lot better than this as he's going on.
You say he's done 70 films, so I was like,
I hope he's gotten better.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you, the Bikini Girls on Dinosaur Planet with Musty Mondays, that's a fun film. So we'll do that at some point. That walks the line between sexploitation sleazecast and this film. But that's usually where I would do his films, because they're really more appropriate for that. But this first film is just so ridiculous. I kind of have a soft spot for it, just because it is so badly done.
Did the version you saw before this, the a while back or whatever, is I don't know if it was just the copy that we had of it or whatever from Tubi, but was it better than one you saw? Because I mean, the coloring was really poor.
No.
And it was just like, I don't know if age did something to that or whatnot. So I was like, is the DVD combo going to look any better than that?
Yeah, and I don't see this going on to Blu-ray or 4K anytime soon. But you never know. The thing is, it is difficult to get a hold of most of his films. I don't even know who has the rights at this point. But
I don't think anybody has the rights. Like,
he does, but I don't know.
does,
I don't know what's going on with that. But
They had a couple of nice production company names at the beginning of it or whatever. I remember we
Severed
saw
Limbs or something?
Severed Lips.
Severed Lips, and then there was something about Brain something.
Yeah, Brain Exchange or something that. I
So
like
his
that.
first name, his real name is William Apriseno. Okay, he did a bunch of these fetish SOV movies. He's from New Jersey, so a lot of more weird shit from New Jersey.
SOV.
He used to work for Factory 2000. Okay, so that's where he kind of got his intro into this and he was there with the late 90s into the early 2000s. And you'll find this interesting. One of the movies he made was called Duck, the Carbine High School Massacre in
I heard
1999.
about it, yeah.
He made that with co-director and producer Joey Smack, and the cops came and arrested his ass because this was right after Columbine.
Yeah, that's dumb. I mean, like, don't make a movie like that like right after, or whatever.
So was it about shooting in a school?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, the thing is, the FBI got involved, and when the FBI saw this, they were like, this is silly. It's not a big thing. But apparently the local cops wanted to make a big deal out of it, and they put him on Fox News, and apparently, what was that weird news? Nancy Grace, apparently. It was on the Nancy Grace show, and she was, like, shaming him for being, this horrible person making fun of...
was it to make fun of something with the shooting, or was it like trying to... I don't know what the motivation was.
It was more like a
behind that.
parallel. Let's do something to catch on the
So I
the
am
fame.
friends with the guy on Facebook. So
We'll see if you still are after he sees it.
Well,
Yeah. After we said the
he
podcast.
knows what he makes. I mean,
that was what I was going to ask you. Is he at 70? I mean, he knows what he is. I
Yeah.
guess. Is this what he expects people to either?
I think he
it or-
understands not everybody loves
Yeah.
his kind of filmmaking, but there's a niche out
Yeah,
there
that
that
small
do.
niche of people that's
Yeah.
going to keep it going. Obviously, if he's still doing it 20-some years, 25, 30 years.
I
later.
find them very entertaining. They are definitely nothing like you're going to see coming out of Hollywood. That's for damn sure. So I always like alternative filmmaking. So for that's kind of cool.
So you think this was shot on VHS or shot on DV? Or
I'm pretty sure it was shot on VHS, but I'm not 100% sure. So we'll have to get him on the show, Moody. Call him up. Use your Moody magic.
I'd love to, but I don't.
We almost got Misty Monday.
We were this close.
This close.
She was dating a guy that we were having come on the show, and then unfortunately, she was too tired and just couldn't make it. She was like staying. She had just gotten in from like the airport, so she was just like.
One of the things that is also a hallmark of his films is the music. Now, I've always liked the music because it's got that sort of alternative rock and roll sort of stuff there. And he used to be, I think he was in a couple of bands. The one he was in was called Tyrannosaurus Dracula. And you can actually, I think...
Tyrannosaurus Dracula.
Yeah, I think you can actually find their music online someplace. But he's made movies with Tina Krause, like I said, David Yao. He did stuff with porn star Rick Savage, with Misty Monday, and then some of the movies he ended up selling to Seduction Cinema. So you remember the Brett Piper and all those folks. So he's definitely done some other things, and he said that he's been inspired by such other artists as Lucio Fulci, Argento, Bob Clark, George Romero,
Hey, Bob.
Rene Cardona Jr., who makes all those crappy Mexican movies.
Well, when he thinks of Bob Clark, he probably doesn't think of like Porky's.
They
or,
think of more Black Christmas.
Yeah.
or Christmas Story. And he probably doesn't even think like that. He probably thinks like he's inspired by the first ones he made that like children don't.
That is one of his favorite movies. That's what I was going to say.
I thought it
Children
was
shouldn't play with dead
Children
things.
should have played dead
Well,
things.
Porky's ain't exactly the art of high cinema.
It isn't, but it's
That's
also
a relative speaking.
it's
Of
also
it is,
more
but-
mainstream.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Children shouldn't play with dead things, on the other hand.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like maybe Black Christmas, but that's actually so well-rounded comparatively.
We reviewed that for What the Fuck Friday when we went to Las Vegas.
It's actually a fun film.
With Mr. Ward. John Ward was
Ward.
with us on that, so that was fun.
Before John Ward knew us, and he was like kind of sketched out that we were meeting him in a hotel.
Oh, yeah. He kind of knew, yeah. So did Julianne when we met with her, because she had to bring her friend to make sure she wasn't getting kidnapped or something. Even though she's known me since, like, the MySpace days. But, you know.
MySpace and Strangler and weird hotels. Yeah, I'd have somebody
Well,
come
no,
and
it was...
Actually, we watched... What did we watch with
we
her?
watched Children Don't Play Dead Things with her.
Yeah.
And we watched... The Stink of Flesh with John.
Stink of Flesh, right.
Stink of Flesh.
It's a zombie movie. That's pretty good.
It's not a rom-com musical, believe it or not.
Well, you mentioned with you said you like the soundtrack and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would have done something to, because it's sometimes the music was and the stuff was a little overbearing. I wish they could have mixed it a little bit more in tune with.
There was
the
a lot of
action.
weird and kind of unnecessary musical cues, which I guess is part therefore comedic effect that sort of fell flat.
But he was learning. He was learning. The lines of this, and I mean, everybody has their first thing if they're going to do this sort of thing. So, you can't fault him too much for that. But.
I mean, this is what you mean. You look at Todd Sheets. He understands that all the bimbo movies are out there, and he's like, I'd rather
he
not.
He doesn't care. Really.
Yeah, I'd rather not people watch that. It's not really indicative of what I can do now, but it is what it is. It's you got to learn.
Yeah, and Sam Raimi did not for a long time. People would put up "It's Murder," which was one of his first feature films he ever did before Evil Dead, and it's terrible. Right? I mean, it's literally there's a character I think he plays where he just is on his knees acting like he's short. And stuff on purpose, but it's a comedy, and he was having fun with it, but he looks down at that thing as this is terrible. So anytime somebody puts it up on YouTube because people got files of it, he gets it taken down, and I'm kind of sad about that. I know, I'm not happy with my old stuff, but
it was part of his life. That was part of who he was at that point, of how he got to where he is now.
I mean, no, I'll take that back because there's this dude who's on my Instagram who's obsessed with my old My Pet Monster shorts I did, and he will literally put them back up, and I'm like, dude, and he'll tag me, and I'd be like, please don't tag me. And that, I don't care if you put it up because a lot of people that are on your page probably don't know who the fuck I am, but I don't want that out there, some of those things I'm just kind of a little embarrassed.
So when you're out there getting your Academy Award, you don't want him standing up going, "My Pet Monster!"
Actually, I wouldn't mind that.
You say you're just Jonathan on the credits for that one then?
No, I mean, no. There's he has the whole full thing.
No, I'm saying because how this is, they all want just their first names.
Yeah.
So that one would be like Jonathan.
When the website where you used to be able to order this stuff was available, this was amongst the films that you could get, and like I said, it was packaged with the original Caress of the Vampire. So it's not like he's completely embarrassed by the film, but he understands.
Oh, he probably isn't embarrassed at all. He probably thought this was goofy.
He understands.
I don't. It's not my cup of tea.
It's definitely weird and strange, and
it's almost like Chris Seaver. If Chris Seaver just was more immature, I guess.
And I've always wondered if those two knew each other.
They have to know each other.
They have to.
Because I think the big thing. So my idea and thought in my head, and I could be wrong. This is something we could ask Mr. Hellfire if we ever get a chance to interview him. But if he were a big convention guy originally, so he would go to conventions and then he would buy these really shitty indie films. And then go, I can make something just as bad as this, or better, right? So he goes out and makes a movie, and it's bad, but it's a learning experience. Sets him up for the next movie, and then maybe the next movie's a little better, and a little better, and a little better. It's just like that line in Ed Wood. My next one will be better.
And let's face it, when you get to work with the likes of Tina Kraus and Misty Monday, I mean, that's fantastic right then and there. Shit, I'll do any movie if you want, if I can get those ladies in it. I mean, they're
we already
fantastic.
did work with Tina Krause.
Yeah.
Lucky us.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously, if he were complete shit, they wouldn't be working with him. So,
Well, I mean, it's going to sound bad, but, like, Tina hadn't seen anything I had done, I don't think. I don't think she watched any of my movies. And she came out and worked with us because
yeah, but at least you had talked with her for quite a while, hadn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, ever since I saw Quest for the Exile and fell in love with her.
Even she doesn't like that film, which is, I
She
guess.
doesn't like that movie, neither does Chris. They
Yeah, I think she didn't have the
experience.
best experience.
No,
the film.
none of them did. It was.
No.
It's so funny because I can look at it from an outsider's perspective.
I loved it. I thought it was
and
fun.
think it's really goofy. Gary didn't like it. He didn't like it. But we when I rewatched that movie, I can see problems. I can see
Sure.
why Chris didn't enjoy it. But in this is I watch it. It's the first one I saw of his, and it did introduce me to Tina. After that, I looked up Tina on IMDb. Thank you, IMDb, and I was able to look up and find, the J.R. Bookwalter stuff. So I was able to go down that rabbit hole and everything, and find more Deborah Shawn stuff, and
Right.
Fred Haga.
Now, back in the day when you used to be able to go to the mom pop videos and you go into the back room where they had the porn stuff, that's where they had some of the Bill Hellfire stuff. So that's where I found Tina Krause with the Strangle movies and all those kind of things.
Seduction Cinema.
Seduction Cinema, yeah.
Well, looking up Crest of the Vampire on eBay, I see a few of them. I see the original a little bit more available, but I see part 2, and there's some stuff about VHS, and those look kind of expensive. So it's like it's kind of rare. So it sounds like
Amazon, I found.
That's probably available. I mean, you could pay if you really wanted to own it.
If there was a Blu-ray for the two of them, I would get it.
I found a DVD of both of them together on Amazon for $20.
Yeah,
That's not bad.
It's like $10 each. I mean, that's.
I think some of the more high-end stuff on eBay, the cost stuff, was like VHS versions of it and stuff like that. Which
Now, I would be fascinated if this came out in Blu-ray and if they were able to have commentary and stuff like that. That would be
Do they not
that would
have
be very
commentary
interesting.
on the DVDs?
Not that I remember, but I may be wrong.
is that how you saw it for the first time?
I don't remember seeing any commentary or anything.
No, I mean
like
that's
that.
how you saw the movie the first time was on DVD.
Yeah, it was on the combo.
Yeah, okay.
But you had it?
No, I rented it.
Rented it from Netflix?
No, I rented it back in the day from
probably
a
a movie
mom
scene.
and pa store.
Yeah, or
Yeah, like movie scene.
that's some video update movie scene would have carried.
I know Ed would have carried it over at.
Really?
Yeah, he's in a. So there's this guy Ed, who's
Evil Ed.
No, he's a good. He was really into in Williamsburg. He was the go-to cult guy. He knew all the movies, any movie, and so he used to be my boss, right, and everything. And I loved working with him. And then one day he said, I'm out of here, I'm going. And we're like, oh, I was like, why are you leaving? This is such a great job for you, He's like, well, to be honest, I'm gonna move away. Mainly, and I think he did move away for a little bit, and I think he's back. But he moved away for a little bit, and he was like, because I'm sick of people coming to me at the grocery store and saying, do you got any new movie titles and stuff like that? And he's like, I just want to shop for my movies, and stuff. So I get that. I get that. But he was the guy, if you said, hey, do you have Crest of the Vampire? He would have at least known what it was, but he might not carry it, and then you had to order it or something.
But you're not going to find that kind of thing in like a Blockbuster video, generally speaking.
Well, that's unrated, or it wasn't rated R. So the Blockbuster would get unrated stuff sometimes, but they stayed the stuff that was studio back.
They were pretty mainstream.
Yeah,
It was usually
even if it was a small little chains. But
usually the ma and pa stores, especially in college towns. Like in University of Delaware, we had a bunch of these little ma and pa stores that catered to students, and there was the students who were really looking for all the underground stuff. That's where I found all the crazy necromantic German stuff and all the other crazy, the wackadoodle Japanese movies that I've seen. Because it's fun. I mean, you get bored with the same old stuff coming out of Hollywood. It's nice to see things that are different, you know?
I'm not a fan of like really fucked up shit going, you know? Like I'm just after a while I'm just like I just feel like people just I don't want to be put in a dark, you know. Spot.
Well, I like it to a point. I don't like it when it crosses over into like torture porn or some of the other
See, I can watch some of the really
stuff.
the real horror stuff, but it seems like
I can't see you watching a Serbian film, Joe. I can't see that.
If it has a vibe of just evilness behind it, and I can't even really place what that is because it's like it's not even something specific. It's like it's just a feeling you get when you're watching. It's just like
you want to take 37 showers.
Yeah, and that's more of a just the vibe of what was too much glee was put behind in making this film and stuff like that.
The Megan is missing. That's a very difficult film to sit through, and I don't watch that. I've seen it like twice, and I don't know that I want to ever see it again.
Well, you don't like that that one movie that
Blood-Sucking Freaks.
Blood-Sucking Freaks. And because that's exactly what you're talking about. People are getting glee, the torturing people.
That's pure misogyny, and I don't like the feeling that the filmmakers are saying, "Hey, you like this, so we're going to show this to you because this is what you want to see." I don't want to see that.
I did love that we joked about Tarantino loving this flick.
Yeah.
Because of the foot fetish stuff
and
everything. I wonder if he has seen this because...
You never know.
Maybe not, because this was after his video store days, and I have this feeling he didn't do the same thing that he used to do, because like because this was made like 2 years after Pulp Fiction and the same time that like From Dusk Till Dawn was coming out. So like he would be focusing on his own stuff, probably not watching underground films as much. But then again, I can't say that for a fact because
sometimes that could keep him keep him grounded in what got him into that mindset of being able to make that type of stuff.
And let's face it, I mean, Bill Hellfire's underground, but he's only like 3 or 4 inches underground versus, say, Lucifer Valentine, which is more like 3 feet underground. Okay, that's different levels.
Yeah, I was a little from a creep factor. I got a little uneasy with the foot fetish stuff. Other than that, the rest of the stuff, it was kind of harmless.
You don't understand it. There's, some people, they get certain satisfaction with feet. I don't understand it either, but it's the way it was done was just it just kind of came off as ridiculous and silly.
Yeah, nonsensical and stuff like that. And if they would have, I think the part that'd be troubling if the camera just sat there on the foot and just sat there and had somebody just massaging it. For
the thing is, it wasn't. It was added in for comedic effect. It wasn't like the whole film was Dr. Acta running around grabbing people's feet and then killing them. That would have been a very different story. That would have been a very darker story. That's not what this is about.
Yeah, they were just. It seems to me like they were just having fun, and some of it they didn't even know. I don't think they really knew what they were really doing. They were just going.
And you could have gone. They could have gone that dark route. Yeah. Imagine a serial killer who has such a foot fetish that he's murdering women and cutting their feet off and keeping them as souvenirs or skinning them or doing all kinds of weird shit. I'm sure
there's been.
I'm sure it's out there.
Yeah. What would that be called? Jack the Flipper?
Jack the Footer.
Jack, whatever. So the Ripper would be
a toe above.
Yeah. You could definitely do some.
And I'm sure there's
weird
been some of the stuff that's been made, and some of it is probably underground.
This was clearly done with tongue in cheek and with the idea of being funny. It's just, it's his first film, and a lot of it wasn't funny. At least, I think some of the things that we laughed at weren't supposed to be funny versus the stuff that was.
And the stuff that was funny, we weren't really laughing at as much.
Go ahead.
I think that was the problem. I think that the biggest problem I had with the movie was it wasn't, because it even said that it was written and directed by the people who made it and everything. And I think this was an improv project. I think they had an idea of what they wanted to do, and then kind of and you can tell because they go off on different things.
Yeah.
And
There wasn't a consistent narrative.
And that's the other thing, and I say this all the time, comedy is difficult, and I really don't recommend you to do a comedy on your first film, because what you find funny isn't necessarily what other people find funny, and unless you hit that sweet spot where it's universally funny to everybody, it's not going to do well.
Yeah. From everything I've read and seen in interviews and stuff like that, it's just that comedy's harder to do than drama.
It is.
Because not only do you have to do the dramatic element of the story, whatever that is, then you have to get the right tones for the comedic
and the right timing, and that takes effort. These guys, they're mostly friends and people who don't really act outside of his films.
Yeah.
So
they're not professionally trained. They're not people who master comedic timing or anything.
I believe William Hellfire was born in 1973, and from what I looked at, and this was made in 96, so he was about 22, 23 years old when he made this movie. He still looked young, probably hung out with people who were younger.
Sure.
And stuff, and made a movie, because I start really, because I started making little short films when I was 19 and stuff, but then I started to, start really going into it when I was like 27, I guess, or whatever. It took some time to just get through doing just shorts, and a lot of it was just, like I said, there was my pet monster, so it was a lot of me just making it.
When did that switch turn on for you, where you were like, I'm gonna make films. That's what I'm gonna do.
I think it was, it was once I created Sick Flick Productions. I was like, that's really gonna be my thing. That was 2006. I think I created. Oh, shit! That's
20 years,
30 years.
No,
20 years.
20
Jesus
years.
Christ.
20th anniversary this year.
Like 30 years.
We should have a party.
You special in film, not math.
Yeah, definitely not a math
we need
guy.
to do a video.
God,
20-year anniversary.
Because 2005 we did a movie called Loam, but it wasn't until like I don't know if I think I still called it John Doe Entertainment at that time. And then it was 2006. I started working on the My Girlfriend the Serial Killer idea, and stuff. And I was like, well, I need a name for my company, and I want to do a horror name, So I did Sick Flick Productions. Nothing ever happened with that. So my first short was that blackout thing I showed you. That was the real first short for it, but that was until 2009. But I had that name, Sick Flick Productions, for a while.
And you know how it is. Sometimes it takes you a while to sort of appreciate stuff that you've done earlier, and then you go back and you're like, oh, I think I can use this in another way. Clearly, with Will Hellfire, he's gone back and taken this and has updated it with this new version, which I'm very curious to see. I'm sure it's going to be much better and much different. I'm just very curious as to what direction it's going to go. If he's going to lean back into the foot fetish thing, or Dr. Acula is going to be in there, or I don't know. It could
be interesting
be
too, because it's a different world that we're in now. So it's like some of the stuff may or may not. He may not care. I don't know.
Will Tina Krause be in there? Will Misty Monday be in there? I mean, it won't be Misty Monday to be Erin Brown, I guess, at this point. But will she be in there? She's actually been in a bunch of Bills Above movies lately. So, I don't know.
He messaged me in 2018 and asked me to buy his newest movie, and I never responded, and I feel bad. But I guess I didn't even notice that was there or whatever.
See, I would have.
I know. You would have been like, oh my God, yeah. It was called like Upside Down Cross. And
yeah, and that actually is one of the movies that he's really proud of. I think he thinks that that's his best film.
So you've heard a lot of interviews and stuff like that?
Yeah. And I actually have not seen that film because, like I said, getting his movies is difficult.
Go through him.
Yeah, I think at this point.
Well, that's what he said. He would send me a PayPal account, and I can send it through there. So I may at some point.
Because there was a website, but it's gone now, unfortunately.
So you need to make a deal with him or something like that. Say, I want to buy these 10 or 15 films.
Are you friends with him on Facebook?
No, and I need to. I don't remember why. I think I mentioned or tried once, and it just never, just never added me or something.
Yeah, because it's like maybe say, hey, I'm looking at getting these 10 or 15 films.
He's exactly the kind of person that, if we ever did distribution and he wanted to do Blu-ray versions of his films, bada bing, he'd be perfect, you know?
if he had the rights. We don't know. We don't know who has the rights for any of these things.
Yeah, well, he's going to know all that stuff.
Well, somebody's still signing off and getting on Tubi, right? So
Yeah. I don't know that. I don't know that there's very many films of his on Tubi, but at least that one was. And again, that was edited for Tubi, so that's the other thing. I don't know whether Tubi did that. They probably didn't. He probably edited it, and that this is that version that he thought would be acceptable to Tubi, most likely. Because, Tubi will put up a lot of weird shit, but they're not going to go into the soft porn stuff.
I wonder if they had another. It was on Folsom or something like that. It's like streaming on that as well. I wonder if it's any different. The version's any different if it's on another streaming.
Could be.
But,
maybe. Because Tubi has guidelines and all that stuff.
And I think, as I remember, when we talked about Beelzebub, I think he mentioned that one of the reasons he couldn't get his stuff on Tubi is because they wanted him to cut stuff out, and he wasn't willing to do that. So that's the thing, If I had had the regular version, we could have watched it. But I've seen it, and it doesn't. It's not. It's not material that is necessary to understanding the plot, such as it is.
Such as it is. But one thing in the plot, though, I think that was kind of that intermission. It wasn't really the plot.
Oh, the intermission.
Yeah, we have to talk about that for a minute because that just cracked me up.
What happens in the intermission?
I just lost it because I was just like intermission, and then the what was it? The guy talking and it said about baloney boobs or something like that.
Baloney
nipples. And then you see them.
I was just like, I was trying to envision what he's talking about there, and then they cut to that with the girl with the
just baloney on her tits.
Baloney on her tits.
As you do.
And then it just sort of cut out. But what they did, though, I think that was the first scene that we saw that one guy in, though, that joined them with the band and stuff like that. So I think that was sort of his introduction into the role, into the movie through the intermission. But I think he did that just to he harkened into some 70s sort of feel with some.
Why do stuff like everybody else does? Why not just do something different and have baloney boobs? I mean, come on.
I just think it was a little skit that they did, and they just threw it in there.
Sure.
It might have been something that had nothing to do with this at all, and he's like, I could just throw it in there or something.
Yeah, just make an intermission, which it didn't need an intermission because it wasn't long. Like usually you do that for long movies or something. This was.
I think that was an attempt at humor. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, I was laughing. I
right.
Laughed.
I mean, how could you not?
I laughed at this, but I don't know if I was laughing for the intention that they were wanting to laugh. Maybe they were. It's just
I laughed
nonsensical
because it comes out of nowhere, which is what I like. Like the whole point, like I said, my favorite scene is when Ruby starts dancing and he gets bopped on the head a couple of times and they drag her off. I just thought that was funny. Her reactions, even though they were not very good.
She was laughing as she was falling down.
So
they did that
funny.
a couple times too when they were doing scenes. They were laughing or chuckling and stuff like that. It was like you could tell this was people.
She was my favorite actress and my favorite character. She was just adorable.
That's why I can't really get mad at the movie
Right.
at all because it's like it is somebody's first film, so you always got to take that into consideration. Also, you said his movies have gotten better.
Oh, yeah.
Including the newest one that he did or whatever, the Upside Down Cross. He's got a couple ones on IMDb that are coming out and stuff. So good for him. Like, go out and make a movie,
Mm-hmm.
So, but you said you've seen a few other things.
Oh, yeah.
And it does narratively flow a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit better.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's good. And I guess you said he did a documentary, so it's like
that was the Wave films that we did the other. I forget the name of the film.
It was Mail Order.
Mail Order. That's
something.
Right. Yeah.
So
that was pretty cool.
Documentaries can always take on a life of their own, just whatever it's about. But it's like, did it seem? Did it flow really well? Beyond your Docs at Rock,
it was well done.
That's interesting.
I thought. You saw it.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was interesting. I always like documentaries about making low budget films and everything and what it takes to sort of make these things. But that was not about the making of the films necessarily, more about the distribution of them and how different it is back then than what it is today. Today, we've got so many options for distribution. We can self-distribute. We can have like Wild Eye distribute it. We can, we can distribute it through other streaming. There's
try to sell it.
Try to sell online or on at
And
conventions.
that's to the mainstream stuff. That's not even touching the custom movie area. Like I said, you can get into some weird stuff. There's a whole like a vor. It's called vor, where you're basically eating people, and they make whole movies like that where they're just, a character, usually women, which is why I don't usually like those things. But they'll kill them, they'll truss them up, they'll stick them on a pole, and they'll put them over fire, and the people eat them, and then that's
disgusting.
right. But it's only for like 3 or 4 people because that's how they get their jollies off.
That's like the back rooms at the Hostel movies and stuff like that, where they were doing that. So I could see where.
But you can make money on that. People have money; they spend it. And
see, that's where I started to get a little bit like I'm a little queasy on
sure.
that sort of thing.
But here's the thing: if you're an independent filmmaker and you want to make your movie, which has got nothing to do with that, and you have the facilities to be able to make a few of these other custom movies. Does it make sense to make 2 or 3 of them, get some money, then you're able to finance the movie that you want to make?
I guess it just depends on what you'd have to make to get that money, and if what you're making, if it really crosses any lines of moral lines.
It's all about consent. I mean, as gross and disgusting and crazy as the slaughtered vomit dolls and some of the other vomit movies. He got somebody who was perfectly happy to do that on camera.
Yeah, because
that was her thing.
Some people might be commissioned to make a documentary about like some work training videos or something like that. It's really not even a film.
I forget her name. I don't remember. I don't know that she was necessarily all right in the head, and if that's the case, how much consent can you really give? I think she had some issues, but for the time, I believe there were contracts, and she signed it, and. Everybody fulfilled their end of the contract, and they made these films. Yeah. So
that's just, and people have different lines. So it's like, I mean, then there's as long as it doesn't cross legal lines, and then moral lines. That one person to the next is different.
Well, yeah, it's very objective.
We always joke about that because it's like. I seem to have a lower tolerance than you guys on some of the films that you show and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, so different people have moral lines, whether it's right or wrong, as long as it's not illegal first, and if they're following the letter of the law, then it's like, okay, well, then you could.
And don't worry, I'm not going to subject you guys to any Lucifer Valentine films on Indie Film Cafe.
I'm pretty sure that Chris Seaver knows these guys, even if they're not like. Friends or whatever, because looking at the Wave documentary or whatever, and it was co-directed by Ross Snyder. Ross Snyder was one of Chris Seaver's actors and stuff, was a big fan of these films and stuff, big fan of Chris Seaver, big fan of William Hellfire, I'm sure, and stuff, and they co-directed with William Hellfire the Mail Order Murders documentary, and that was interesting because that was like you said, they were custom made movies. So you would fill out what you want, you would send it out to them, you would pay them a certain amount of money, they'd go and make you a movie, ship it out to you in mail. Nowadays it'd probably be digital if they did it, and everything like that, and you could just
And again, it runs the gamut. Some of it is pretty benign, some of it gets pretty dark because if you've got money, you can pretty much make stuff happen. There was a whole industry for fake snuff films. There are people that watch that's what they like. What are you going to do?
I can never do that. I can never do any of this. I can never do fetish stuff because it'd just be weird for me. I just wouldn't it wouldn't be fun, and I don't know if it's fun for them either, if it was just work, but I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if it was kind of done in this way where like maybe one of the characters has a goofy fetish and we work that into the film. That would be okay. I would not want to make an entire film built around a particular fetish. I remember when I was at the University of Delaware and I was doing photography for the first time and I was trying to find models, and I would just go to the art department and hire one of the models there. And then I just started branching out, and I just started running into various students that I thought would be very interesting to shoot, and I would ask them, and if they were interested and they wanted to make a little extra money, they said sure. And I remember I got this one that actually was working in the archaeology department when I was there, and she was okay with it up to a point. She was like, we can shoot nudes, but I only want you to shoot me from this direction, and you have to shoot me when I'm nailed on a cross, and I was like, I don't know that I'm comfortable with that.
There's some religious implications
Yeah.
in there.
That wasn't where I wanted to go at the time. Yeah. So that I felt a little uncomfortable with that. So I was like, I'm going to pass on that one.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is so you had your moral line, or for whatever you felt at the time there, and you didn't want to, I don't say sell your soul for it or whatever. Like let's say people get these little films made for little people. Then you got some people who say selling your soul is making Hollywood-ish films that don't fit really what you're doing. You're just making just something for mass consumption. That's selling your soul. So it's like it just depends. As long as it doesn't cross legal lines, it's like to each their own, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's one thing to push.
I have a choice to say no.
It's one thing to push the envelope. It's another thing to go into illegal territory.
Yeah, exactly. You don't do
that.
What
I mean?
And I have the right to say no. I'm not going to watch it.
I like films and I like filmmakers who do push the envelope. I like things that are kind of from the outside. I just don't like it when they wobble into some of the extreme violence towards women and some of the other torture porn. I don't need to see that. That's not entertaining to me personally. Not that I won't watch some of it sometimes, because there are some ones that are very, very well done and interesting technique, especially when you get into some of the practical effects, which has become a forgotten art that only the independent films seem to be able to do, whether it's because they don't have the money for CGI or whether it's because they're the only ones who really employ the practical effects people at this point. Because that doesn't really happen on the major studios anymore. They don't even have the people who know how to do that anymore. So I've always had a soft spot for special practical effects, and that tends to be in your horror movies and your especially in some of the extreme horror movies, because people love their blood and guts and bits and pieces.
There's been a few movies I've seen in the past couple of years from Hollywood that they've tried to go back to doing those practical effects. I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but there's been a few movies that I've seen that's gone back to that, and that's good because
George Miller is one of the few that I can think of.
Oh yeah, doing the Mad Max stuff.
And the thing is, even if you have the people, there's not a lot of studios that will bankroll it, that will produce it or will get the insurance for it, because God forbid somebody gets injured during one of those practical effects, and then there's a lawsuit, and it costs a lot of money. So that's really why I think most of the studios don't want to deal with that. That it's much safer to do it in CGI because nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, but the CGI, it's just like when you're watching a lot of those movies, it's fake.
Oh yeah,
it's like when you're looking at it, and it's not that maybe it doesn't necessarily look fake if it's done so well.
You can tell,
but still that it is.
Your brain knows.
Yeah, so
it's a contrivance, and I don't like that.
Yeah, so it's like
there are very few instances. The only thing I can think of, what was that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie with Eliza Dushku in there? It was
True Lies.
Yeah, True Lies. There's a scene in True Lies where they're on that one bridge. I think it was in Florida that blows up. You know what I mean? It was like a low bridge with crossing water. That didn't exist. That was all CGI. Mm-hmm. That was top of the line CGI, but it looked
well, it's James
real.
Cameron before he did Avatar.
Right.
Yeah. So he had every technology that he had, and then they were still inventing more at the time. But
that to me was a proper use.
Actually, to go with that, Rob Rodriguez made a whole amusement park in Spy Kids 2 that had rides that did not exist because it would cost so much money to make a ride. If he could just put people in a blue screen, put them up on the thing, and make it look like this one thing is going around in a circle, it'll cost so much less than going and building a fake amusement park or using a real amusement park, which you have to.
And for a movie like this, you don't have to worry about it because you're just using your mom's house and your mom's basement, and that's pretty much where they shot. I would say most of this.
But yeah, I will watch stuff. If CGI is right. I mean, I'll watch extras where we are as a society. But some of this stuff with the real life type stuff, like this, what was done here. I mean, it's what it is. So.
Last thing I'll say, and then I think we got to go to the rating. But I'll say I laughed my ass off at one line where they said they came in and they were talking about how this place looked. They thought this place was abandoned, and I was like, There's stuff everywhere. It does not look like this place is abandoned.
Looks
at
like it's
all.
well lived.
Yeah,
and
well-lived.
it has full electricity and everything going on in it. It's not an abandoned house.
But I get it. Like they're trying to
That's
make
what they
it.
had.
That's
Yeah.
what they had at the time. They had Bill Hellfire's house, most likely, and
Yeah.
he was just like.
They went downstairs in the basement. That's where the doctor's
I
office.
mean, where did you film your first movies? At your house?
That's all I filmed at,
Right.
and I still film it at my house. I don't care. And that's not the problem. I just wouldn't go around and say, "Oh, this place is totally abandoned, guys," or whatever, when it looks like it's not.
Yeah,
Like,
fresh bread on top of the fridge. And
I mean,
stuff like that.
in my opinion, you write it where you go, okay, this is Dr. Acula's house, and people like to come over and hang out. Was it the room? They have that one room. That's what the room is, basically the title. Something everybody just goes into that room all the time, including people that have no business being there, but just go there and hang out. And I'm just like, okay, that makes sense, even for a stupid, crappy movie like that.
And I mean, give it this part much at least. There was no, Tommy Wiseau effect. You didn't get to see his butt. So there you go. That's
He
a
did
plus.
get to make out with a guy, or not make out, but like eat a guy or whatever.
Wow, he did
Stuff.
the fake Bela Lugosi thing where he puts the cape over
Oh, yeah,
him,
they did
and,
that a couple times.
and then the sound comes on, crunch,
That same crunch they played a couple different times. Like, oh, there you go.
because when
Yeah.
you bite into skin, it crunches.
Yep.
All right, so now it's the time where we're going to start talking about how we rate our movies, by which we use our stinkometer score 1 to 10, where the lower the score, the better the film, and the higher the score, the stinkier. You think about it like a dial, and you're turning the stink factor all the way up to 10. That means that it's got a lot of problems, a lot of visual issues, lighting issues,
Yep.
sound issues, plot issues,
Yep.
problems with a capital P.
There's a lot of yeps in that.
Yep. And if
Yep.
you feel subtle, you can go in between a score, like a 5.5, if you can't decide between a 5 or a 6, something like that. And we take our 3 scores, we total them up, and then we see where on the ladder of stink this movie happens to fall for this season. And this has been kind of a wacky season. We've really run the gamut between movies that have scored pretty low to movies that have scored pretty high.
You got some tens?
I think so.
I don't
haven't we?
think so.
Not yet.
Not
We've
yet.
come close.
We've been close. We've gotten like 9s and stuff, but we've never gotten 10s. So you're going first.
All right, Joe, you're up.
Well, when you were saying the reason to rate it as a 10 versus up the meter and stuff like that, I was sitting here, and you probably even heard it on here. Yep. But I will say the one thing, it's the first film. And we never even went into what the budget was. I don't think it was much of anything.
God knows.
I mean, I think it was maybe a
$10
paycheck or two of somebody's at the time. So yeah, I have to give a little bit of leeway to that.
Sure.
First film, stuff like that. But still, there's so many problems with this. I mean, infinite amount of problems. And I'm going to sit at a 9.
Okay.
And I was sitting almost saying 9.5, but I was like, no, I'll do a 9. And hopefully he learned a lot, and it shows off in other films.
Okay. Mr. Moody, you're next.
I would definitely go with a 9. Because I wanted to go with the 10, but the problem is that it is a person's first film, but it's also they tried to have fun with it, and I can't give somebody like it's not, they didn't take this super seriously like Neil Breen.
Right.
They're more competent than say Nick Zed or even David the Rock Nelson. They actually tried to make fun stuff. They obviously are fans of these kind of vampire films or whatever, and so I mean, but still not a good movie. Like it tries so hard at times to be fun and imaginative and different, but like we forgot to mention, there's some weird ass zooms where they zoom in. And like they zoomed in on the fucking refrigerator.
The corner of it.
Yeah, the corner, which you can still see some of whatever, something the girl had or whatever. And then you saw like the refrigerator.
I was expecting that push in to have a pull out with maybe another angle from coming from a white or something like that.
See,
That would have worked.
I bet if he had done it now, that would be what he would do.
Right.
But like, I don't know what I don't know why they did that. Experimental or something. I don't know.
And he had the wheelchair, the handicap wheelchair that is for one of the.
Yeah,
wipes.
there was some fun designs.
For one of the wipes and stuff like that. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's some cool like little dissolves and stuff and fades and things like that worked. But then there were things like that was just like mind-boggling, and I was just like, okay, why did they do this? And I don't know the answer.
Because he can.
Well, I think it's learning. This was a learning experience. Yeah. So your score's a 9?
9.
Yeah, I'm going to echo that. It's a 9. It definitely has every problem you've mentioned, but it kind of grows on you a little bit. It's kind of endearing. Just because,
like some sort of like fungus.
If I were 22 years old making a movie, this is probably what I would have done. Yeah. I would have made every single mistake. I would have made just because I'm trying to tell a fun, goofy story, and I don't really care about how it's made. You know what I mean? At least back then I wouldn't have. So I get it, and yeah, there are definitely some problems, but there's some fun things. I like some of the music that is involved. I really dug Ruby. I thought she was fantastic. She's my favorite part in the whole movie. I like to sing more of her.
You like the song that they did?
I liked the song. I thought it was cute.
Well, they didn't do a full song or whatever.
Close to it.
The one-take shot of the whole band.
If you're dead, then you can't drive.
What was yours again?
It's a 9.
Nice, yeah.
It's a 9. So 999.
999 27.
9 times.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, I don't know whatever happened with Ruby Honeycat. I wish I knew. If we ever managed to get a hold of Bill Hellfire, I'd love to find out. I thought she was adorable, and yeah.
Yeah, she probably got a job.
Probably
got a husband, or I don't know. She's gay. She could be gay. She could have a girlfriend.
It was just the way she did it was like, I like to dance, and she's just like, oh my god, it was just ridiculous, but fun. It was fun.
She might be the president of a Fortune 500 company for all we know.
We have no idea.
Because that's not her real name.
Right. So he might. I don't know. I don't know if he's seen her in years. I don't know. I get the feeling though that he tends to utilize the same people over and over and over. So he probably knows.
Also, some of these have shown up, and others are
just like Chris Seaver and just like some of the other folks. They know they're friends.
To kind of in a not so punny way, but whatever. But they probably go through waves. You probably went through waves of people.
Sure.
Kind of like Chris Seaver, where he would. Because I've even done that, where I've had people that I was working with, and then now I don't work with anymore. And it's not because we had a falling out, as far as I know. It's because we just.
Well, that's why I was very curious as to whether Tina Kraus would be coming back for the 2.5. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't think we've ever asked her about Bill Hellfire, have we? I mean, I've mentioned that I've seen her in some of his movies, but we never talked about him specifically to her. So I don't know. I don't know if they're still in contact. Like I said, I know Misty Monday's moved on to do other things. She can't even use the name Misty Monday, so it's Aaron Brown at this point.
Yeah.
So
no, she's she's still out there acting, doing stuff, so good for her. She's not working with those guys anymore. I don't think she does Seduction Cinema anymore.
Yeah, I don't know Seduction Cinema's even doing much anymore. I haven't seen a Brett Piper movie in a while.
And they kind of worked with other filmmakers. I know like Sam Qualiano worked with a lot of the same people like Brett Piper and people like that for Snow Shark and whatnot. So
and they had two different things going on. They had more of the soft porn, Darian Kane kinds of stuff, but then they also had their like goofy, funny, like Bite Me kind of horror movies that were tongue-in-cheek and just silly and just fun. Those are the ones that I really liked. I kind of wish that they would go back to making some of those, but what are you going to do?
So you haven't got me with the 10 yet? You haven't got me with the 10 movie yet? I don't think so.
Well, Geek Mega
Bingo?
Well,
come on.
Well, a 10 all around.
Oh, yeah.
A 10 that I said a 10 and as a team.
Didn't we give that?
Yeah, I thought that was a 30.
That was a 30. I'm pretty sure.
I swear to God, that was a 30. I gotta look that up then.
I can't imagine that not.
I can't imagine that not being a 30. Unless
I hear you guys talking about other films, other ones that hit that before, and it's like I don't hear one seem like.
I don't know. I think I'm about to prove you wrong on a couple of them. I think in the beginning you might not have thought. Yeah,
I was
whatever.
maybe it was just me prodding Paul to push the limit the next time.
Oh, I can do that. You want me to hold my beer? I can definitely do that.
The last episode of season 2 was Twisted Pair. That was a 30.
That was a 30, yeah.
Twisted Pair. I don't even remember that.
That was Neil Breen.
Yeah.
You were there for that.
You
I
were
don't
there.
even remember that movie. Maybe.
Oh, you might not have been there. I mean, Just Jim was the one we counted, but I thought we had a group of people.
Well,
there.
I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah. We sometimes we have a group at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
That-
saved Hitler's brain. That didn't turn out to be a 10.
Was
I
that the Christmas one that I had to leave?
Might
Yeah,
be.
it might have been.
Yeah.
Might have been. So I'm looking up. I'm looking
Trying
up
to
what
find
was
Geek
the-
Mega Bingo.
Yeah. What season did we do that in?
And I know Janitor, you guys wouldn't have gave it 10. So
Yeah, you gave it a 10 for no. You gave it 7.5 for that one.
for Janitor,
Yeah, you didn't give it a 10 though. Geek Mega Bingo. We all
G. Larry deserves a loan to take a couple,
Oh, sure.
a couple moments of quality to that.
There you go.
All right, hold
I
on.
can't remember, but I'm pretty sure we gave it a 10. Or we all gave it 10.
Yeah, we all give Geek Mega Bingo a 10.
Oh,
Um,
so we have done. I have been part of a 30.
Oh,
Okay.
sure. I'm pretty sure.
and what was the? Hold on, what was your thing? Other you were Q by the guy thing. So these next ones are going to be tough for us to do because you're going to have to go to A1, A2, or whatever because there's going to be so many people that were on our show the last couple seasons.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Well, you know,
A
it's
good variety.
Yeah, it's good to have like random, you know, a lot of people that are in
You
it.
could find that meter for a bunch of different people. Push that line, but
Wait, you might have, no. Hold on. No, you damn you gave it a 9.5.
Oh,
Which
my
one's
God.
that?
Frankenstein Island.
Oh,
That
Frankenstein.
deserved a
That was
fucking-
bad.
that was
That
pretty
should have been a 30.
I'm surprised that wasn't a 30.
I'm gonna have to re-listen to that.
The
and see
power.
why.
The power. Because they had a dog. That's why.
good. Oh,
As I remember, that was the reason. You liked the dog.
oh, okay.
Yeah, you like the dog in it or something.
Because the dog was cute and fluffy.
And probably didn't get.
The rest of the movie was
It's
horrible.
not in a,
Oh, I remember Frankenstein Island. Isn't that the one where they flew in and they
On the balloon.
Yeah, they flew in on the balloon and they were trying to like, and then it felt like a 50s film or something like that, 50s or 60s film. Mm-hmm. The Scientist or something. Yeah, okay.
It was terrible.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That was definitely one that deserved a 30. There have been a few that squeaked by that should not have.
Yeah, there's just a. I guess you guys talk with me about Geek Mega Bingo, but I guess with other people have, because you've hit a few other titles. They say feel lucky you didn't see this or this. So it sounds like I haven't been
Yes.
subjected to one of those necessarily yet.
not one of those yet, but
You haven't seen Miss Werewolf.
Yeah, but yeah, Geek Mega Bingo is the high or the low life, depending on which way you want to look at it on the spectrum. But
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
this definitely didn't hit that, but
No.
it warrants the numbers that it got because of the reason why. I mean, the reason you said the stink meter, stinkometer.
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 Yeah.
But 27 is still pretty damn high, but it's not 10 territory. We've seen worse than this.
We have seen.
Have you had, now on the flip side, have you had a 3 yet? A 1, 3 ones. Have you ever gotten that perfect?
We've come close.
We've come
I
close.
think we've had like a 4 or 5.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
we
game
were
box.
down low.
Yeah.
I think Lunatic's a Love Story was one of them. And a couple of his movies that he picked, like
Blue Ruin got a really
Blue
good
Ruin
score.
got a low score.
Which is good. Which I'm glad that there's that you try to get
I
a
like-
little,
yeah,
of both.
I try to bring in a variety of stuff
all
when it's possible.
The,
All
the,
right,
one,
I'm
the,
looking
one,
at-
the bad ones are the ones that ends up at 5, right in the middle, because those are the ones that don't really move.
Not
the meter.
necessarily. Not
Sometimes, yeah,
necessarily.
it just depends on why it hits 5. I guess.
Sometimes you get a thing where like I'm giving it a 9 and somebody else is giving it a 3, and it kind of evens out that way. So it's, I don't know. They tend to be, sometimes they're volatile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you have had times where it's been on that far extreme.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There have been a few.
Oh, Vampires of Zanzibar was close. It was 9.5 for all of us.
Yeah, I remember that. I
That
remember
was
that one.
was a pretty bad one.
That was a bad one.
That was a bad movie.
Yes, it was.
But that did not get a 10. I'm trying to think. Yeah, so
So I've only given one 10.
I think we're
my
we're
history.
way too nice to you.
That's what I said. I just poked the bear.
We got to toughen you up there, Joe.
Screwed yourself over, buddy. 'Cause I think now we're just like, because
gloves are off from here on
I
out.
think after the movies I've seen, I've been primed enough over four or how many seasons have I been on here now, off and on? It's
Well,
like
we have talked about.
I'm ready.
We've talked about doing a couple of retro shows where we go back and watch a couple of the really bad ones for folks who haven't had the pleasure of seeing them. You know, like Fungicide. I don't think you got to see Fungicide.
No.
And some of the other ones that are
You
floating
said
around
that,
there.
wasn't there like Hard Rock Zombies? Or
Oh yeah, you haven't seen that one.
yeah.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean,
Roller Gator. Did you not see Roller Gator?
no, I have not had the pleasure.
Oh man.
So, like I said, outside the moral lines, that's the ones that's like, are you going to hit that spot? Hit that spot where the dogs will put their head in the oven. I mean, that's that fine line.
I'm looking at
But it's all good.
what we did this year, as is. I know you are part of Pod People, which you gave a
Pod People,
7.5.
Pod People, I don't remember that one.
We just did that one. Like, we had a whole bunch of people there. Like, Ramaku was there. and
Oh, okay.
We were watching that movie. It was
The
the
fake rock and roll singer.
Christmas.
Stinks!
Oh, yes. Some of these I just don't remember the title. I logged all the movies that I see on a list just to keep, because
Moody keeps this master list to himself. He knows all these, but we
Disgusting Space Worms. You didn't get to finish it.
I ran off. No, I had to leave that day, and I'm feeling kind of thankful because what I saw of it was horrific.
Well, I think what happened.
That was on par for a 10.
What happened was that I think it got late, and Jolene came later than we were planning or whatever, and it wasn't her fault. I think there was just mix up and miscommunication or whatever. So we were waiting around for her to come, and then she came, and then we started watching the movie. What I'm really excited about this will be out in August, this episode, and by that time we would have already had our 4th of July party. And I'm thinking about doing another indie film cafe too. It'll be the last of the stuff.
We can bring back Disgusting Space Worms if you really want to watch it. Look at Moody's face.
Only if Moody watches it as well.
I won't. I won't. There's,
Sometimes it's the joy of watching other people's reaction to a movie you already know is
You
so bad.
watch it again now, this quickly, just
Yes,
to
I
subject
would.
somebody else
Yes, I would.
to its greatness.
But we need to get a couple more people just so I can see the jaws drop to the floor.
So we'd all be sitting there watching, and you'd just be watching us.
I took my point off of it, of watching. It wasn't mine. I let 2 other people go instead of me being on there because I fell asleep. I fell asleep. I was sitting out here. I wasn't thinking about.
That's the Space War movie.
Yeah, the Disgusting Space War.
Oh, so you haven't seen it all then?
See?
I saw
There you go.
most of it.
See, he's like,
enough. Just like Joe.
I was like, I saw maybe
He
half
hasn't
hour.
seen Actium Maximus, the movie that pissed Moody off to no end.
To where, he goes, "Oh, I'll watch that again."
That's one of the ones you guys talk about a lot.
He invited Lenore. We had to get another thing, and he was like, "Moody, you want to come up and watch it?" Nope.
So he tried to subject you to a second.
I'm glad he told me, because he could have been like, "Hey, we're just doing a movie." And,
I would have done that to you.
so he let me know.
That's cold blooded.
That's cold-blooded.
So I came out with it's really weird. I'm just gonna say this. I know we're not even talking about the movie that
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter anymore. We've already rated it. We rated it.
It's the whole cafe, the whole thing.
Like thinking back at season 2 where we did not have Jen, we do things a little bit differently now than we ever did back then, because back then we only did 2 episodes per month, and it was your episode or my episode, right? Or whatever. And we would do that, and then we'd mix everything in. And we would do that, and then we'd release them that month, or whatever. So if it were January or February, we release 2 episodes, but we'd do it pretty quickly. I'm glad we don't do that now, that we bank them in and everything like that. But we didn't do that. We didn't record 2 episodes of Indie Film Cafe back to back or something like that, which we could have done today. But I think Joe's sticking around for the Film Freaks if you want.
Sometimes it gets a bit much. I mean, one of the reasons why I'm doing a movie with Jolyn tomorrow, and it's Forgotten Horror Classics, is because she said, she's like, yeah, after the last one, I think I need a break from Indie Film Cafe for a bit. And I was like, okay.
Fair
enough.
But here's the thing. So we would come up with the idea for doing this stuff later, and what happened before when we were season 2 was we would have to find somebody. So we'd be like, Joe, do you want to come out? And I think you had only done movies that I want to say that I picked, because I other than Twisted Pair, maybe a couple other ones that maybe you.
Well, I strolled in one time when he had something planned for What the Fuck Friday, and
we had
Yeah.
Indie Film Cafe. You were supposed to be on that,
Gotcha.
And then you were coming in for that, and we were in the middle of finishing up What the Fuck Friday, or watching it, and so you were like, you came in early, so you watched it with us, and I think you came in right at the time where the big thing was taking a dump or something,
Oh, that was
Yeah, it was pretty nasty.
Welcome to Indie Film Cafe.
Yeah, welcome to What the Fuck Friday, for sure.
So, I like when it's diversity, so it's like it's a little of both. But I mean, sometimes it's fun just to go all one way.
Farm of the Bloodline. We need just to show that one.
I think we also have more people now than we did back then. Because back then we had Joe, we had James, we had Lenore, and then maybe Gary and just Jen. And I think that was it for season 2.
James.
And so I said James.
Oh, okay.
And so those were the guys, those are our people. And then then later I think we had Gary, we had Lenore's sister, we had a couple other people that kind of joined us. But I was so mad. I was like rewatching a video that a friend of mine she said she wants to come back. And so we'll get her for Indie Film Cafe. She's never been on it. But one of my friends who's in Zombie Isle with me, she did like Slimoids and a couple other ones that we reviewed, but we only reviewed that, and we did a bunch of other videos. And I was like thinking, why didn't we have her for Indie Film Cafe? Well, that's what I would do now, right? Back then, I think. Because I'd already shot something, you had already shot something. We just didn't think about doing that and stuff. So nowadays it's a little bit different. We got John Johnson, who was a part of season 2.
We were gonna have Angel show up and we were gonna just hang out for the weekend with us, and we were gonna show her a bunch of the movies that we'd like that we knew that were really bad, just so that she could see some of the crappier ones.
We sort of did that with G. Larry Butler a little bit.
He falls asleep, though.
Yeah.
He dozed off in that one that we were watching a couple weeks ago or whatever.
Yeah.
At this point, he's kind of beyond even more than one movie at this point.
You know what? He does the Hooked on Hitchcock. He watches the movies twice because of falling asleep or being too tired and stuff. So he has to make sure he's seen it all.
He gets comfy, and then that's it.
Well, he also... the one thing that drives me nuts is he's a note guy. So he likes to have all his notes. He likes to read his notes, and everything. And I am not a note guy. I am a fly by the,
Definitely.
seat of my pants.
She would have fit with this film, with this, what we just talked about. Improv.
Well, me? I mean...
No, I know.
We're doing improv stuff for Sick Flick Productions.
Yeah.
So, hey, when this is finished, when this comes out, this episode comes out, we'll hopefully be done with Gross Fest.
Yeah.
We'll be done out of there. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Maybe Bill Hellfire will be up at Gross Fest. You never know.
I mean, it's Pittsburgh. I don't know if he's just hanging out there, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Sorry. And we'd have probably better luck going to Chiller.
You're friends with him. You should.
You might be able
on
to.
Facebook.
You're really looking to supplement your library of film going.
Absolutely. That's why I go to these cons.
I told Dustin Hubbard we were reviewing Caress of the Vampire 2 Gula Gogo by William Hellfire, and his reaction was, "Oh God."
That's just it. Dustin is one of the few people I know. I can pull a movie out of my ass that no one's heard of, but he's heard of it.
He's at least he knows who made it or something.
Yeah.
He might not have seen it, but he's at least heard of it or knows of it.
He's like the Google of the underground cinema.
Yeah, he's very much like.
That's what when I was at a party a couple weeks ago and stuff like that. One of the girls, somebody I work with, his wife, she's like, "You are like the Google of film." I was like, of like, I don't say popular film, but like of normal Hollywood film. Because I was like, there's a whole other side of film that it's like, I come in and I get some of these discussions with you guys, I'm like, I had no clue.
And even I know a lot, but even I get stuff like, thank God for Tubi. Tubi knows me more than I do. Tubi's the one that sent me Gobblefoot. I didn't know Gobblefoot existed. Tubi's like, here's a movie you're going to like. And boy, were they correct.
But,
if you watch it, you've watched it, haven't you?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, my God.
We're not reviewing it.
Just you wait.
Yeah. We're not reviewing it until we get Madeline on.
Just you wait.
I can't wait.
Yeah, but there's a lot of these that I've watched, and it's some of them are just goofs or whatever. But then there's a handful of them that's really resonated and been like, okay, this is something really good.
Starring your buddy, Rudy Ledbetter.
Rudy's in it?
Yes, he is.
Well,
and it's not just a mail-in either. He's actually there.
Nice. Well, good. I love my Rudy. I
want Rudy and Rudy to meet, but that's a different story.
Well, we're working on that.
I know exactly.
We're working on that.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. And I'll watch Guardians. They're gonna,
and Mac will have a coronary when it happens.
Well, Mac will not be happy. We'll make sure of that.
Mac's already cleaning up after Rudy Ledbetter's messes all the
says
time.
Rudy and Rudy going to meet. He's just going to be like,
that bedwetter. All right, everybody. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode. We talked way too long for this.
But you need to watch part 2.5 now.
We do.
At some point, maybe. Maybe for a Patreon only or something someday. All right, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll be back next... When does this come out?
Hopefully he'll use his Moody magicking. We can get Bill Hellfire on the show, and we can have him talk to us.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, if we got 2.5, then we watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we get him.
I mean, if you guys are open, I'll bring more of those. Bikini Girls on Dinosaur Planet is a lot of fun. Dinosaur Island.
We'll be back next week with one of Paul's picks.
Yay.
So we're excited. Until then, everybody, have a good one.
Bye.
Yeah, I pretty much went under there. I don't know. But yeah, now we're testing, guys. So Joe, say some stuff.
Say some stuff. Hot Pockets are sitting in front of me, and they're not mine.
Hot Pockets.
Hot Pockets.
All right, you actually sound pretty good. All right, good.
Just